of a college of a state in the United States. Georgia. Georgia, which is historically been a very, very good football school. The same Georgia that is arguably not the best team in its conference. Georgia's not the best team in the SEC East. I mean, you could argue it's Tennessee, right? We have to see what Jacob Eason looks like. If Jacob Eason looks really, really good, and we get a healthy Nick Chubb, and we get a healthy Sony Michel, we've got a really good Georgia team. One imagines, right? But we don't know that yet. We have no idea what that's going to look like. And as it stands, even though two of the best running backs in college football, like of the best running back groups, Chubb and Michel, right there. I mean, they're in the top 5 easily. They're in the top 5 unhealthy. They're in the top 3 when healthy. That's just the way that is. And we're still talking about a school that's not the best team in the SEC. And these are the people who are fighting to be of greater importance than Uganda. Let's take a look at the size of these two schools, okay? Of these two places, rather, right? Because Uganda's not a school. Uganda's a country. Uganda is a nation of 37.58 million people as of last year. As of the last counting, 37.58 million people. Georgia, their enrollment last year was 36,130. So Uganda has you beat 37 million to 36,000. I think Uganda wins the edge here in terms of relevance. The amount of people who care about Uganda as a nation and its athletes in the Olympics exceed by a very large number the people who care about the University of Georgia, which isn't to say, oh, nobody cares about Georgia. But can Uganda have UGA for like a month? Like, they're not even, the Olympics aren't going to last more than a month. Can they have it for like 3 weeks? They just borrow it for 3 weeks, just loan it out. Right? My favorite tweet about this whole thing was someone going, I'm very excited about UGA football. Ugandan football, obviously. Obviously. I'd like to see the Ugandans play some football. Real football. Hashtag real football. If you do hashtag football on Twitter, you get the little soccer emoji. And that ain't real, man. All right, we've got a call coming in here. Caller, you're on the air.
Keon, I'm a big fan, but something I got to point out. Money talks, and money is way more important than people. Listen to this. The GDP of Uganda, $21.49 billion. That's way less than $1 billion per person. All right, now check this out. GDP of the state of Georgia, $396.5 billion. And that's in U.S. dollars, not even Ugandan dollars. So I would say that the state of Georgia is about several times more important than, a few hundred times more important than the country of Uganda, because money, way more important than people or national identity. Thanks. Love your show.
I don't know if I agree with that. I don't know if that's an opinion that I roll with, money being more important than people. But let's say that I humor you on money being more important than people. Let's say that. The state of Georgia, I will then accept your argument that the state of Georgia will be more important than the entire nation of Uganda. But we're not talking about the entire state of Georgia. We're talking about one school in the entire state of Georgia, which has a great many schools with divided loyalties. 100% of the people in Georgia are not rooting for the University of Georgia. You've got some Georgia Tech people in there, the rare Georgia Tech people in there. You've got the Kennesaw State folks. Because, I mean, you're Kennesaw State person. You just, why would you ever root for the University of Georgia in Athens when you could root for Kennesaw, which is a glorious place and the closest thing that we have to heaven in the United States, I would argue. Kennesaw is a great place. I'm just saying, the University of Georgia, the GDP of that school doesn't hold a match to the entire nation of Uganda. It's just a fact there. So just let them have it. Just let them have the hashtag for like 3 weeks. They'll give it back. Nobody's going to be tweeting about Uganda in September. They're going to let it go. It's going to be fine. You'll live. In fact, I've seen people photoshopping the Georgia logo, the Georgia G, onto the Ugandan flag. You know what? Looks great. It's really opened my eyes to the fact that the University of Georgia could probably use more yellow in that color scheme. I'm just saying. I know it sounds like sacrilege, but I'm just saying you could use just a little bit more yellow. This is Hot 1240, Hot News Talk Radio, Clutch with Keon Rose. Why are people really mad about this? Like, they're really, really upset that UGA is Uganda. Look it up. Look it up on the internet. They're truly upset that UGA is Uganda. It's fine. Let them have it, okay? When September rolls around and football is upon us, when you type in hashtag UGA, you're not going to get a Ugandan flag. It will be gone. Just let them have it. I want to talk a little bit about Draymond Green, because Draymond Green is the new Dennis Rodman. He is the new Dennis Rodman, and he's Dennis Rodman in a way that Dennis Rodman can never be. Because Dennis Rodman is a guy that was seeking attention. They've got a lot of similarities. But Draymond Green doesn't seem to be seeking attention. But boy, attention always finds Draymond. Draymond Green and Dennis Rodman have a lot in common in the way that they play. Both guys were the heart and soul of the defenses that they were on. Both guys were the most important rebounders and defenders on their team. Both guys. I mean, both of them very similar. Both of them played with a lot of passion. Both of them could get in trouble on the basketball court for the amount of passion that they displayed. Both of them known for arguing in the locker room with teammates and coaches. There's a lot of similarities there in the way they carry themselves on the court. And off the court, there's a lot of similarities as well. But where they're different is Dennis Rodman was looking for attention, right? When you go to spend time with Kim Jong-un, you understand there's a certain degree of attention you are drawing to yourself. When you marry yourself, you understand that there's a certain degree of attention that you're drawing to yourself. When you show up to New York Jets training camp with green nail polish and you talk about the Jets taking over New York, you understand there's a certain degree of attention you're drawing to yourself. Draymond Green does silliness and foolishness and stupidity on sheer instinct. He draws 10 times the attention to himself that Dennis Rodman ever did, and he's doing it on pure instinct. Draymond Green punching Steven Adams in the undercarriage. Yeah, that's going to draw attention to you, but he didn't think about it before he did it. He just did it. Draymond Green kicking LeBron James in the undercarriage. Again, knew that was going to draw attention to himself, maybe after the fact, but not before he did it. He just did it. Draymond Green punches a Michigan State football player. Knew that was going to draw attention to him at some point in the process, I imagine. But because he's Draymond Green, just from the way the police report is written, it doesn't sound like Draymond thought to himself, how am I going to draw all this attention to myself? I know I'm going to punch a football player. What it sounded like was Draymond Green felt disrespected and thought the only way that a grown-up ought to handle this is to open hand slap another grown man. Slap him like his dad, as though there weren't going to be any ramifications to that at all. And then Draymond Green on Snapchat earlier this week took a picture of little Draymond and sent it out to the world. He sent it out to the world with what I imagine is every Snapchat user's nightmare there. He just pressed the wrong button, sent it to the wrong person. And I don't know if you've been in any of those situations where you've sent messages to the wrong people. I've never been in that situation, but I can tell you it exists. But how about using a platform? How about using, I don't know, your text messages? You know, how about using a more direct form? How about, I know it's old fashioned, but how about sending an email? Can you send an email to the wrong person? Yeah. Can you send a text to the wrong person? Yeah. But usually, not always, but usually, when you send a text or an email to the wrong person, you tend not to send those to everyone on earth. I suppose you can. I imagine there's a scenario in which you could. All right, fine. I will concede that you might be able to, but it's much more difficult. He just hit the wrong button on Snapchat, and that was the end. Everybody on earth can see his junk. It's circulating around the internet. At this point, you can find it on accident more easily than you can find it on purpose. That's way too much. Why use Snapchat for that? It's like those people who use Instagram to send pictures with text. You're using Instagram for words. Why? You're using Snapchat to send something private. Why? In this case, an actual photo of your privates. And now the world has seen it. And now you've got porn companies offering you roles in films. And you've got your pick of any actress. And it's just reached a level now that is beyond what anybody thought it was going to be. And Draymond Green is trying to take it in stride and be cool about it. But how can you be cool about it? The entire world has seen your manhood. You got your teammates around you. These are your peers. These are people that are your age, that do exactly what you do for a living. And just like you, they are some of the best in the world at what it is that they do. And quite frankly, you're going to be trapped with them on a cruise ship for 3 weeks while they mock and rib you endlessly about what you've done. And it's already started. The YouTube video of the Team USA teammates making fun of Draymond has already been out there because, let's face it, in order for you to take this picture of your junk and send it out to the world, you had to do it on the team plane next to all of your sleeping teammates, which you did. Come on, man. Pull yourself together. Like, children know this. You're not supposed to send pictures of yourself to anybody. In fact, let me talk to the children right now. Let me talk to the kids right now, if you're listening. If you are allowed to have a cell phone or a computer or whatever device it is that your parents have allowed you to have, when you have this device, do not take pictures of yourself. I know the urge for selfies can be enormous. Do not take pictures of yourself. Don't do it. Don't take any pictures of yourself that you don't want your parents to see. And definitely don't send any of those pictures to anybody else on earth. Or, in the case of Draymond Green, to everybody else on earth. Just can't do that, man. And they're never going to let him hear the end of this. Like, this is a part of your legacy. We talk about legacy in sports. This is a part of Draymond Green's legacy. Draymond Green needs to win another championship. And I don't think any athlete needs to win a championship, especially in a team sport, because it's tough. And you don't try out to go out there and win a championship by yourself. You need your teammates. You need to be lucky. You need things to go your way. Like, a lot of things need to be factored into team sports, which is why I would never say that a person needs to win a championship to solidify their legacy, except in this one instance. Draymond Green needs to win a championship to change his legacy. So the last thing we don't remember Draymond Green doing is taking a picture of his junk and sending it to everybody in the world. And it's funny because Draymond Green makes funny Snapchat videos, and a lot of people join the day before to hear these videos of Draymond Green singing off key. And then the next day, I can only imagine the horror as they saw little Draymond in all of its glory. You're listening to Hot 1240, Hot News Talk Radio, Clutch with Keon Rose. We're going to talk about football next.
I'm blowing everything up. We're starting over. I'm doing a new show. I want guys who push it to the middle of the table and go over the top. Take a risk, fail miserably. I'm right, and I'm not wrong, and I'll never back down. Conflict works. Allow it.
It's The Herd with Colin Cowherd, right here and everywhere. Noon Eastern.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
Order a 16-inch pizza at Toscano's Italian Grill and get a free 10-inch pizza. Toscano's, authentic Italian food, fresh-made ingredients and sauces. When you and your bambino sit down at Toscano Italian Grill, you're served by smiling people. They make you feel like part of the family. Toscano's is easy to find. It's in the recruiting center at 153 and Lee Highway. Toscano's, scrumptious pizzas made with fresh dough, come to you bubbling hot from an authentic brick oven. Mention Hot News Talk Radio and you'll get a free 10-inch pizza when you order a 16-incher. Heaping portions, friendly, 10:30 to 10:30, 7 days a week. Toscano delivers. 805-3888. Like us on Facebook. Ask about Toscano's app. Nobody does it better. Mention Hot News Talk Radio and you'll get a free 10-inch pizza with 2 toppings when you order a 16-incher. 805-3888. Nobody does it better.
Finding just the right place to live can be a daunting task. Stop your search. In Chattanooga, the place to live is Cross Creek Villas for under $1,000 and available for immediate move-in. You can enjoy this 2-bedroom split layout, over 1,000 square feet, 9-foot ceilings, an extra-large patio or balcony. And don't forget to ask about their preferred employer program. Cross Creek Villas is a gated community offering a 24-hour fitness facility, a beautiful pool and hot tub, and Cross Creek Villas is pet friendly. Stroll the pet park with your best friend and enjoy the free use of their business center and clubhouse. Plus, if you mention you heard this on the radio, your application fee is free. Cross Creek Villas, close to downtown off of Highway 58. Go to crosscreekchattanooga.com. That's crosscreekchattanooga.com or call 894-0446. That's 894-0446. Redefine the way you live at Cross Creek Villas. Go to crosscreekchattanooga.com or call 894-0446. Cross Creek Villas.
Lingering showers and storms will slowly settle down through the nighttime. Some late fall developing, lows 70 to 72. For Friday and Saturday, continued hot and humid with partly cloudy skies. A few isolated afternoon storms popping up each day with highs back into the lower 90s. Looking for your dream home? McBriar Realty can help. With decades of experience, they get big-time results with small-town values. Licensed for the tri-state, check McBriarRealty.com for their complete listings. And I'm Storm Team 12's Chief Meteorologist Patrick Orr.
On AM 1240, Hot News Talk Radio.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
Hot 1240 Hot News Talk Radio with your Hot News Now update. Hamilton County now has its first confirmed case of Zika virus. Apparently, a resident of Hamilton County traveled overseas to an infected area and then came back, bringing the Zika virus with him. There's currently no vaccine to prevent infection and no specific antiviral treatments for Zika virus. However, you can take protective steps to not get it in the first place, including using DEET and dumping out standing water in your yard. The suspect is being hunted down after the wrong way chase on I-75 has been added to the TBI's top 10 most wanted list. Anyone with any info about James Brian Miller's whereabouts is asked to call the TBI at 1-800-TBI-FIND. There's a $1,000 reward for information leading to his arrest. And a Macaulay graduate's on the U.S. Olympic swim team. He's qualified for the men's 10K marathon, a grueling 2-hour swim in the ocean. Macaulay grad Sean Ryan on the U.S. Olympic swim team will be cheering him on. It's going on in Tennessee Valley. It's going on Hot 1240 Hot News Talk Radio.
Hot News Talk 1240.
All right. I'm out of funny material. That's it. That's all the hilarity that I've got. We're getting closer to college football season, and it's around the time that you start looking at your more ridiculous lists. You start making lists. It's an epidemic in sports radio, quite frankly, that you get to a certain point before whatever season you're about to enter, and you just start making lists. You don't even You don't worry about whether or not it makes sense to make lists at that point, or whether your lists have any meaning. You just start making lists. I myself used a list earlier this week from Saturday Down South about the top 10 quarterbacks in the SEC. You just start making lists, and they're cool and they're fun, but man, they're not worth a ton. But it does help sort of in creating the conversation of say the list is the top running back groups in college football, which is exactly the list I'm about to talk about here. You start making lists, and it's one of those things where you look down and you're like, I don't know how much this actually helps anybody in terms of hold on just a second here. I'm looking at this list, and I'm like, some of these lists, this list here is iffy to me. Because you're looking at the top running back groups, and then you're looking at it and you're like, this team is depending on one running back. Why don't we just rank the top 10 running backs? What's wrong with the different running backs that we had to try and put them into groups? And I understand the temptation of wanting to do it that way, but it just seems really really odd to do it that way. I'm looking at it and I'm like, all right, fine. Let's delve into this. Let's dig a little bit deeper. And look at literally just the running back groups here, because I'm looking at it and I'm like, I like the running back groups that Tennessee has. I like what Georgia has. I'm looking at LSU's running back group. Should we really rank LSU's running back group number one, or should we just say that LSU has got Leonard Fournette, and Leonard Fournette is worth everybody else on the list put together? But okay, let's start doing the community corner. Let's go with the Clutch community corner. I'm finally ready to do this. The timing of it is working out just wonderfully. All right. The Clutch community corner is the corner where we highlight the community, and we will talk to lovely Miss J, who is going to be running the community corner any second now. Hello. You are on the air.
Awesome.
This is time for the Clutch community corner, where I basically had a lame intro. There's no jingle yet. We don't have a jingle. Sorry.
Cool beans. Yeah, I'm excited. The community corner is like super cool because community, and that's kind of my favorite thing about any place, is the community that it brings.
How did you get involved in the community originally? Because I know this is something you wanted to do.
Well, I'm a social worker by trade, and so the short of it being just hanging out with my clients and just kind of seeing the community from the community ground up, just working day by day in different homes and things, and just getting kind of just a really cool exposure to all the different things that were going on and the different lives of, again, the folks that I was working with, and whether that be like clients or organizations. And I was like, yo, like, that's super cool. There's a lot of awesome stuff happening out here that like people should really know about. And I think from my experience anyway, people just love to be connected. And so, yeah, like kind of how my love for the community was born and how this kind of came about.
Well, I appreciate you building the community corner into this show, but I do have to ask a question, which is why a sports show to have a community corner?
Well, think about it this way. Like, if you were, I don't know, I like basketball. So, like, if you were a basketball player and you're out there and you're doing your thing, right? But, like, you know, you make the winning shot and you look around and there's no applause. There's no one there for you. There's no one rooting. Like, you can't have sports without community. You can't have participation. You can't have Sunday night football, you know, without the community, you know. I mean, sports is built around the communities that birth the athletes, you know, the traditions, the food, the experience. It's all based on community. So having community in sports, like, I really don't see that you can't have the two together.
You're listening to Hot 1240, Hot News Talk Radio, Clutch with Keon Rose. We're talking to Janelle Billingy, who will be building in the Clutch Community Corner here on this show. What kinds of people are you hoping to be able to talk to?
Well, everybody. If you're connected to especially community sports in a really cool way, we want to talk to you, you know, athletes, people who are leading, you know, the Pop Warner football, or if you're coaching a baseball league, or you're working with the Y or United Way to do some sort of day of caring, or whatever your connection to the community is, from not a business perspective per se, but literally just that grassroots. I'm working on this fundamental ground level with kids, with families, and I have a passion for bringing that sports, that exercise, that experience, that community to my community. We want to talk to you. We want to hear from you. We want to hear your experience. We want to see your passion. We want to be able to just connect, again, from that community level.
How can people help in the community? Like, what's one simple, easy thing you can do to help in the community?
To help?
Yes. That's
kind of a big question. To break it down, I guess I would say, really, truly get involved with your kids. Find out what's going on at your local school, high school, elementary school. Find out, like, car washes. Every school, every sports organization, every youth league has days where they're going to, like, Moe's or some place to get 10% off and get money back. Some of these are doing those box tops for education. Just kind of get connected with your school. I think that's a really good place to start to get involved with your community. And, of course, listening to Hot News, you know, and kind of finding out what we bring out there and connecting with your community. But like I said, I think starting with your school is a great place to start helping. And from there, there's so many opportunities. Salvation Army has great opportunities, especially around the holidays. Start saving your cans because, you know, Thanksgiving's coming around and folks will be asking for them, you know, non-perishables, donating clothes that are too big for you or too small, or, you know, if you want to move and you're getting rid of your couch, don't throw it away, donate it, you know. Start from a really ground roots level. But I'd say starting with the school is a great way to start.
That does make a ton of sense. You're listening to Hot 1240, Hot News Talk Radio, Clutch with Keon Rose. On the phone with me is Janelle Billingy, who is a social worker, and she is going to be heading the Clutch Community Corner here on this show. If you have anybody that you'd like to nominate for this show, for an opportunity to put on display what it is that they do in the community, Janelle, how can the people find you?
Well, to be determined. When you connect to the Hot News Facebook page and the website, we're going to have a email and an Instagram account that will be popping up very shortly. And that way you can kind of follow us, send questions, inquiries, ideas. We're just kind of just have a visual of what's going on, what we're doing, where we are, and who we're with. Yeah, I think that'll be the greatest, easiest way to stay connected at this point. Further details to come.
All right. Before we get off the phone with you, is there anything else that you'd like to add?
No, I'm actually in the CPR training with a community agency right now, so I've got to run. But no, I'm just excited. Stick around and feel free to participate. Like, that's what we want. We want the community to come together, to rally around our sports teams, rally around the next biggest athlete, our next Peyton Manning, whomever, and just rally around each other to support each other so we can grow as a community, especially here on Clutch.
That sounds fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us on the show today. Thank you for everything that you're doing to make this community corner an awesome thing that's going to be sticking around for a while.
Thanks. Take care.
All right. Talk to you soon.
See you. Bye.
Bye. So that's Janelle Billinger. She's the Hot News Talk Radio community outreach leader, director, person. Look, man, she had a really long title. I don't remember the title. Also my girlfriend. And as you can tell, she's smarter than me. She just is. This is one of those things. She's smarter than I am. I'm a person, if I'm smart when it comes to sports, and then outside of sports, I don't know what to tell you. So as for instance, I'm terrible at stall tactics, which is I'm awful at it. I was trying to stall because she like she said, she is in the CPR training with the community. I'm stalling, right? And I'm looking for just ways to extend my little talk about running back groups. Is that not the worst radio you have ever heard in your life? Me stalling, trying to talk about running back groups, because I'm not sure whether or not I'm going to have to extend that conversation or shorten that conversation. I had no idea. So now I'm going to give you the real conversation on running back groups with like real actual confidence and real actual emotions. Okay. Because I'm the thing that I said before still stands. I don't like lists when it comes to we're about to start football season. Here are the top 10 reasons Tennessee can win the SEC East. Why don't we just watch the games? However, this running backs group list is interesting because you've got a lot of teams that have a lot of depth at running back, and then you've got a lot of teams that may not have a ton of depth, but what they do have is one great running back. For instance, North Carolina. North Carolina has a lot of depth. They've got a lot of depth. They've got Elijah Hood. They've got senior TJ Logan. Between the two of those guys, those are two 1,000-yard rushers. Penn State is another school with a lot of depth. Baylor is another school with a lot of depth. They've got Jim Grobe, and now Shock Linwood is going to be coming back for them. He rushed for 1,300 yards, 34 touchdowns in his college career. Terrence Williams is adding to that attack. So there's a lot of depth there. Johnny Jefferson, there's a lot of depth there with Baylor. And Baylor's going to need it because we don't know exactly what the quarterback thing does for them now that their offense is going to be changing with Jim Grobe. I mean, you could just look at it. The Georgia Bulldogs are another team. A lot of depth. Between Nick Chubb and Sony Michel, you can't find a better 1-2 punch, I think, than that. You can go with Jalen Hurd and Alvin Kamara at Tennessee, but the only reason why I wouldn't have Chubb and Michel over Hurd and Kamara is literally just injuries. That Sony Michel and Nick Chubb are not at this point both 100%. When they're both at 100%, no disrespect to Jalen Hurd, who is powerful and incredibly difficult to tackle, and no disrespect to Alvin Kamara, who is slippery, he's fast, he's got moves, he's hard to bring down, he's hard to catch in the open field, he's just a fast guy. I mean, you're looking at two guys there that are great. No disrespect to those two guys, but Nick Chubb and Sony Michel, if you separated them, they could both be the premier backs on any other team. I think that Jalen Hurd and Alvin Kamara need each other a lot. I think the two of them offer two very different playing styles. They don't have it all in one body. Okay, they're not each the total package. Hurd is the power runner. When you see Jalen Hurd avoid guys in the open field, I mean, look at him do it. He veers more than he jukes. He'll angle himself away from people very intelligently, mind you, very well. He's a great running back. Okay, not taking anything away from Jalen Hurd. But Jalen Hurd's not going to put his foot in the ground and make you break your ankles trying to tackle him. Kamara does that. But Kamara's not running through three guys. Chubb can do that by himself. Chubb can be put his foot in the ground, make you look bad guy. Chubb can also be impossible to tackle. I would say the same thing of Sony Michel, though not to the same extent. The Georgia's got the depth there. I would argue that Georgia's got the better backs, but neither of those guys are healthy at the start of the season. So we'll see as the season goes on, as those two guys kind of return to form, whether or not we're going to be seeing the best of them. However, you start to move up the list of running back groups, and this is what I find confusing, was we're looking at the best running back groups. And the top three, according to foxsports.com, are Oklahoma, Stanford, and LSU. And if you asked me which schools have the top three running backs, I would tell you Oklahoma, Stanford, and LSU. But the top three running back groups, I'm not going to tell you Oklahoma, Stanford, and LSU. You know why? You take the worst running back off of Stanford and replace him with me. And Stanford still has the second best running back group because Christian McCaffrey is the second best running back in the nation. And he pretty much does everything. He runs, he catches, he's a great receiver, he's great in open space, he's fast, okay? Which we have to stop doing our thing where we stereotype running backs. Christian McCaffrey going to get a lot of stereotypes as a white running back. We don't have a ton of those for whatever reason. Christian McCaffrey's really fast and really powerful, like breaks tackles. That guy is brilliant. You replace the worst running back in the group with me, and they're still the second best group because they have him. And the same thing goes for LSU. You replace the worst running back in the group with me. Hey, you replace the second best running back on that team with me, and LSU still has the best running back group because they've got Leonard Fournette, who is, and I don't know how else to describe him, a certified monster of a human being. Okay, this is a guy that last year rushed for 1,953 yards and 22 touchdowns as a sophomore. He gained 4 yards a carry after contact, which means the moment he got hit, he gained 4 more yards, which is by far the biggest amount in the country. 85 broken tackles. I mean, he's unbelievable. He had 7 runs of 40 yards or longer. And it's arguable that he's going to be faster this season. He's going to be faster because he lost weight. Now, I saw Leonard Fournette last year. I don't know what weight he could have had to lose. I didn't see any body fat on that guy, but fine. He lost weight. Leonard Fournette is going to be even faster than he was a year ago. I mean, this list of the top 10 running back groups is bogus in as much as Leonard Fournette beats everybody. Okay? It doesn't matter who the other running backs on the list are. He's head and shoulders above the rest. Leonard Fournette could have gone to the NFL last year, and it's only because of the rule that he wasn't able to go. He could have been in the league and produced at a high level. You can't coach what that guy has. He's enormous, yet graceful. You can't coach that. You know what I still watch? I look it up on YouTube all the time. I watch Leonard Fournette devour 3 Auburn players in one play. There's no better television than what that is. Leonard Fournette basically consumed 3 Auburn players in one play. Like, we never found them again. Where are they? I don't know. Put them on a milk carton because we couldn't find them. He ate them. Gone. So this list, while accurate in a way, is ridiculous. If what you're going to end up saying is Leonard Fournette is the best running back in college football, Christian McCaffrey is the second best running back in college football, and Samaje Perine is the third best running back in college football, then what is the point of this list? Because it's the same as you end up with the same top 3 as if you had just said, you know what? What are the top running backs in college football? Like, your list doesn't change at all. Basically, more or less, your list does not change at all. What was the point of that list? It's possibly one of the single most pointless lists ever. I don't want to necessarily say ever, but it's one of them. It's right there. You're listening to Hot 1240, Hot News Talk Radio, Clutch with Keon Rose. I prefer the quarterback list because here's the thing with the quarterbacks. I think that's the point of however far your quarterback can take you is how far you're going to go. Because LSU might have the best running back in Leonard Fournette. And in fact, they do. But they're only going to go as far as Brandon Harris takes them. And Brandon Harris is arguably going to improve. I mean, you have to think that the guy is going to improve, and they're going to need him to. Brandon Harris completes 54% of his passes. He's shaky. He doesn't make great decisions with the football. He's quick, he's fast, but he's not necessarily going to be an elite arm talent. He's not going to be, he doesn't throw the ball very accurately. He's strong. His arm is strong. He can throw it deep, but he's not accurate. His decision-making isn't great. He's got incredible receivers around him that make plays, that make him look better. And at 54% of your passes, when you've got elite receivers like that, 54% is not acceptable. Like, other teams wish that they had what you had at receiver. You just have to be better with the football. And I don't know if Brandon Harris can give you that. Leonard Fournette's going to make life easier for you, but he can't carry the team. At some point, you're going to be able to force Brandon Harris to make a play, and Brandon Harris is going to have to make one. He's going to have to make the right decision with the football, where you can't afford to have Leonard Fournette beat you. You can load up the box because you know Brandon Harris isn't going to make a play downfield, which is crazy for a guy that's got an arm as strong as he's got to not be able to make the plays necessary to put LSU over the top. So I'm hoping the extra year of maturity, because you see it from year to year. Sometimes guys grow in leaps and bounds, and sometimes they don't. But it's hard to tell. It's just hard to tell sometimes. I can't predict what he's going to do. And so it's hard to predict what LSU is going to do, because I'd like to say LSU could win the SEC West. They should be able to. This being Alabama's year where they're losing a lot of talent to the NFL, to the National Football League, you've got to think that this is your year to win. And you've got Alabama at home. You've got them in Death Valley. You've got to win. So Leonard Fournette, great as he is, LSU's only going to go as far as Brandon Harris can take them. And I'm not sure that that's very far. You've been listening to Hot 1240, Hot News Talk Radio, Clutch with Keon Rose. That's me. Thank you for joining me today, making me just a small part of your day. You know that I appreciate you. Remember, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. Stay clutch, and I'll see you in about 10 minutes.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
With every election, the government always gets in. You're right to be angry. We have no free market, red tape everywhere, taxes crushing. There's no level playing field.